This is the week 8 conscious and conformity in the age of liberties. Five major points. And before I go into the five specific points, um, first four are kind of a little bit of a review slash kind of set up the situation before we go into a new set of new larger thoughts for the rest of the semester. The first thing is about, again, just reiterating about intellectual history and how it's a purposive discourse that is in the form of a speech to persuade an author's argument is the right one. An example of this is you look directly at the text, you analyze it. But we don't do the straight typical analyzing a text as we've learned in our class. Our type of analysis is different, and it looks at it all. It looks at the type of text in all dimensions in different manners. The second thing, knowing this intellectual history, is now we talk about more about the religious exodus by the Puritans, and this is integral because it sets up the other main points and explains what have we have done and learned so far in our little journey of landscape American thought. So the exodus by the Puritans, they view their journey as an essential part of Christianity. They believe that their main job is to further the fate of Christianity and into new horizons. So they came and arrived to the American colonies, and they first get there. They work to survive, and at the same time, we have Winthrop, who views the arrival as a setting and a chance to set up two main critical things: which is political order and the social order for its people. And as we know now, as they do this, something also comes into play in this time period, which is the Age of Reason, which is the third point. When we have the Age of Reason, and this is very huge because it really allows the age of the white man to think and reason for themselves. When this emerges out of this, comes the Age of Science, and this is tied with Winthrop because people can start questioning the culture of one person and saying, why should we believe in this? Why should we do this just because you say something? So both the Age of Reason and the Age of Science are all intertwined together with Winthrop and the religious exodus of the Puritans. An example of this back then would be a scientist who questioned what was the best political order for their society. Now, another background point before we can really further delve into what we really were talking about is the economics history of slavery. Back in 1606, the Virginia Company of London and Plymouth really came out to the American colonies as an economic adventure. They brought London investors to America, as they called the area they settled into Virginia, and specifically Jamestown. And they came before the Puritans arrived. This is important because this is almost the first form of slavery, which is a form of indenture slavery, where they could buy their slavery. And this kind of all came about when Dutch colonists intersected with the Portuguese, and they had a swap where they got the first group of blacks to come to the American colonies and enter in Jamestown area around 1620. Now, this all comes together with the last main point, which is the concept of, or the development of the Republican Covenant. And the reason why I gave you this background information of the religious exodus of the Puritans, the intellectual history, the Age of Reason, and the economics of the first slave trading is because while all these little precipices, there's a reason why we developed the Republican Covenant. This is a little bit more background information. The Puritans are up north, and you got the slave lands down south. And then you have John Edward coming in saying, you can earn your spiritual redemption. But the main thing is you can't get rid of this whole entire Age of Reasoning and allowing people to really think on their own and develop their own thought process. Hence, we have the fractured religious groups, and we have the British requesting taxes from the American colonies. While this is all going on, now we have the background of the contextual history background that our authors of Jefferson and Franklin uses to create their own intellectual history, to create their purposive discourse of uniting the people against the British monarchy. This is huge, and this is all what we've been building up to, what we've learned and what we've read up through week 8. And this is big because the narrative swap was to unite all the people for the Republican Covenant for liberty. And the end result of this was independence. And those are my 5 main points for week 8.